The NCAA Golf Regionals are finally here. We show you how Nicolas Platret got ready. UTPA Track and Field is gearing up for the WAC Championships. We show you how one student-athlete is fulfilling her destiny. And do you like offense? Then you've got to see these highlights from the UTPA baseball series at New Mexico State. This is Bronc Country. Hey everyone, and welcome to Bron Country. I'm Jonah Goldberg. The wait is finally over for UTPA men's golfer Nicolas Platret. The WAC individual champion has had 3 weeks since winning the title to get ready for the NCAA Regionals, which run through Saturday. And Platret is ready to make his mark. Anais Cortez has the story.
Nicolas Platret is one of the 10 golfers competing for a spot on the NCAA Championship in our region. With the time Patr has had, he is focusing to work inside the 100 yards and on the greens as preparation for this coming week as he competes at the NCAA Regionals.
I'm working on my short game right now because it has been not a bad part of my game during the year, but not my best part, so I'm trying to work on it as much as I could, and I just need to go shot by shot, don't think too much about my game, and give my best.
You can only control what you can do on the golf course, and Platret sure has come a long way for the university, being the first Bronc men's golfer competing in regionals for the first time since 1978.
It's a great statement for Nicolas to win the conference championship. It shows that UTPA is moving in the right direction. We're climbing up. Being at regionals is going to be a great statement to show people that, we're here, put us on the map a little bit, and for Nicolas to go out there and just play his best and do what he can. I expect to see more of the same. I mean, he's been playing solid all season. He's taken, I believe, 5 or 6 top 10s. He lost in a playoff at one tournament, and then I told him just to keep putting himself in position and the wins will come, and he did that in conference, and sure enough, he won.
To advance to nationals, they take one individual from each region, so Platret would need to finish highest on the field of all the players that are not on a qualifying team.
Yeah, practices will actually be a little bit lighter. We're going to about down to 2 to 3 days a week just so he has time to relax a little bit, because we did play such a rigorous schedule going into conference. He needs to relax just a little bit, take a break, and then be as fresh as possible going into regionals. As far as working on anything new, we won't be. I'll be actually trying to tailor down on drills, and we'll just be going out and playing golf.
Platret hopes to be playing his best game because he knows it won't be an easy task, as he will be up against some of the best golf players.
I feel ready. I don't feel like pressure or anything. It's going to be a big tournament for me, so I'm just going to go out there and do my best. I know I'm going to play with the best player in the world, so I just think about my practice, and I've been doing that for a long time, so I just need to be confident, and I'll try to do my best to represent the school.
The ball is now rolling all the way to Lubbock, where Platret will be playing on the Rawls course this week. Reporting for Bronc Country, I am Anais Cortez.
And while Platret gets ready to make some history, UTPA women's basketball has already made plenty of history, breaking 40 different program records and tying 19 more this past season, finishing with their first winning record at the NCAA Division I level and making their first postseason appearance. For all of that and more, the Broncs were honored by the City of Edinburg with a proclamation last week, recognizing the hard work they put in all season and how well they represented the Rio Grande Valley on the national stage. After all, we play for you.
Well, it's outstanding. I mean, our young ladies have worked hard to represent us well on the court. They represent us well in the classroom and in the community, and that's what we try to do. And we're Valley proud. We're proud to be from UTPA, but again, we're Edinburg proud. And this is something that really means a lot to me.
UTRGV men's soccer announced its fall schedule this week, marking the program's first matches in 18 years. The team is actually on a 2-match winning streak, entering their season opener on August 28th against Houston Tillotson at home. The Vaqueros will play 18 matches leading up to the WAC tournament, 9 of which are at home. After the home opener, the Vaqueros will host the Rio Grande Valley Invitational Tournament against Buffalo and IPFW. The Vaqueros face off against a pair of teams that were in the NCAA tournament last year, including Cal State Fullerton and defending WAC champion UNLV, while taking on a grueling 10-match WAC schedule that includes teams with a history of success.
I think it's a difficult conference to jump straight into with a brand new program. There's no doubt. I went to the WAC Championships last year. Very impressed with the level of play. There's some very strong teams. We stretch all the way out to California as well. So that'll be tough challenge for us, but we have to make sure we can get our players ready as soon as possible, get them all playing together, building those relationships on the field. But it's definitely exciting. One of the things that I think we'll really look forward to is our opening tournament kickoff, September the 4th and the 6th. We invite teams down from New York, from Buffalo, from Indiana, Fort Wayne, and then we have Houston come and join us too. So that'll be an exciting kickoff to our season.
A few years ago, Destiny Schulze was one of the best middle distance runners on the UTPA track and field team. Now, after 2 years off, Schultz is back, and she's the UTPA Comeback Student-Athlete of the Year. Coming up on Bronc Country, we show you the amazing story of Destiny Schulze.
We will work our minds, raise our hands, and search for the answers. We will study the stars, learn to speak each other's languages, and hear each other's songs. We will make each tomorrow brighter, more prosperous, and completely new. We cannot predict the future, but we can and will build it. We will come together. The University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. New opportunities for the 21st century.
Two weeks ago, sixth-year senior track star Destiny Schulze was reduced to tears when she was presented with the UTPA Comeback Student-Athlete of the Year award. After competing with the team for 3 years, Schultz missed the last 2 years, and it's been a long road back. Romeo Villarreal has the story.
On a previous episode of Bronc Country, we looked at some of the winners from this year's Student Athlete Awards. Among those who took home awards that night was Destiny Schulze of women's track, who took home the Comeback Athlete of the Year award. This is the story of her journey here at UTPA.
Coach Hartman recruited me in 2009 for the 400. Whenever I found out that I had a chance to go to college and I was going to get a scholarship, I was just kind of wherever said that they were going to pay for the most. And Coach Hartman said he could pay for all 4 years. So that's how I got here to Pan Am.
Competing in the 400 meters, she mainly worked with then assistant coach, now head coach, Xavier Richardson, who was in charge of the sprinters on the team.
Well, Destiny was a freshman several years ago. Actually, when I first arrived, she was part of that incoming freshman class of 2009. So, there was a growing process the first 2 years, kind of getting her accustomed to the new training and demands of collegiate athletics. Very hard worker, really kind of came into her own just about her sophomore year. So already had signs of the ability to be very successful at the collegiate level.
While the two were very close, their relationship early on had many ups and downs.
Really?
It's a roller coaster. We have our good days, and then I'll do something and we'll butt heads, and then I'll get back on his good side, and then I'll mess up again. And it's a learning experience.
Yeah, again, there's a maturing process. You have to get them out of the high school mentality being in a different place, being in college for the first time. There are those that you have to shepherd a little bit more than the others. So there was definitely a growing process with her where there were a lot of times where, we're setting expectations. If she wasn't meeting them, she was hearing about it.
During her junior year, Destiny hit a rough point in her life where she could no longer motivate herself to continue competing in track or continuing her college education.
I had stopped coming to school December 2012. Because I had lost interest in track and I was just wanting to have my fun. So I decided that I was going to move back home to my family and, see where that takes me.
We can only do so much, for them. I would say time and time again that they would have to make their own decisions in life. So we had to sit down, and she said that she was going to take some time off. She felt like it was necessary at that time. I think she was feeling overly bogged down and, just needed a respite of sorts. So she said she was going to take some time off and go take some classes elsewhere. You're always disappointed to see someone that you've been working on and cultivating and trying to get them to a certain point athletically, and then they just kind of want to stop. So, it's not a great thing to hear as a coach, that one of your athletes no longer kind of wants to be invested at that time. So, again, took it for what it was. She needed, as it were, a break. So that's kind of where we went.
Soon after her leaving the university, Destiny found out she was pregnant, and on November 22nd, 2013, Destin Raid Flores was born, causing Destiny to reevaluate her priorities.
The moment that he came out, he was my pride and joy, and I knew that my life was going to change forever because I want to be able to offer him anything and everything he wants. Not to spoil him, but I want to be that mom that he looks up to and says, "Mom, I want to be like you."
Deciding she wanted to give her son a better life, she reapplied and was accepted back to UTPA, this time as a student.
I reapplied for school, and then whenever I took my, you don't really get reaccepted, but I was like, whenever I had my class schedule or whatever, and I decided that this is what I was going to do, I went to Coach's office, Coach X's, and I said, "Look who's coming back."
I was very proud of her that she'd made that decision on her own, again, with no influence from myself. Just saw her walking around campus one day, bumped into her, and that's what she said her plans were, that she was going to look into returning back to school. I believe she'd had Destin at that point, so asked her, did you want to continue to work out, as a previous member of the program, if you could do so, just to kind of hang out and kind of be around us again, and that's something that she wanted to do. Started working with compliance office just to kind of see what options we had, and turned out that we were able to give her back a year of eligibility, and she jumped at the chance to do so.
Getting Destiny eligible to compete had challenges. The biggest challenge being that it was 6 years since she first competed at UTPA. A student athlete at the Division I level normally has a 5-year window to compete in 4 seasons of their sport, with few exceptions. Working on Destiny's case was the compliance team of Farah Matai, Francesca Wood, and Andres Cantu.
We knew that she was past her 5 years, so we had to figure out, is there any way what we could do to give her some of the seasons that she lost due to having birth to her child. We looked at NCAA bylaws and we found out that there was an exemption of how to extend the 5-year clock. And one of that was the pregnancy exemption, which is, if a female is pregnant and is gonna have birth, then we can extend that clock and give her that 6 year of eligibility.
Not satisfied with how she left the team her junior year, Destiny was ecstatic about getting a chance to compete in their final season on the team.
I definitely think God knows what he was doing. I think if I would have stayed and finished my track career, I would have been very disappointed with my last season. Then getting this chance and this opportunity, it definitely serves its purpose. And coming back, and I feel like I'm not only running for myself, but for Coach X and my son. And I feel like I owe it to them to be the best that I can be my last year.
With her final season coming to an end, Destiny's journey as a student athlete will finish when she graduates in August.
I'll probably be crying. I'm just going to look back and think I did it, I at one point in my life, I really thought I wasn't going to go back to school or when I was going to go back to school, or anything. And then now looking at it, and graduation, I'm going to graduate in August. So that day comes, I'm just going to be so excited. I'm sure I'm going to be I'm an emotional person, so I'm pretty sure there will be tears of joy, and my family will be here. So I can just say I finally did it.
Having had to balance being a full-time student, a full-time mom, working part-time, and an athlete, the final chapter of Destiny's story at UTPA has not been an easy one. Even with all the struggles, Destiny has managed to pull through.
I mean, she's shown what dedication and just a willingness to push yourself can do, where, again, you know, all those naysayers that say you can't do it and you can't be eligible and you won't be able to run as fast as you were or faster. And that she just won't make it, and she just chewed it all up and spit it all out. You know, she worked hard. She did what she needed to do academically, and you know, she worked a job, and she's been working her butt off on the track, and she's having success because of it. So I just hope she continues to carry that on into whatever aspects of, you know, life she chooses after she does graduate.
I definitely have learned that you need to put your all into everything, because when the moment comes that you decide to make a decision to stop doing something that you really liked, but at the moment you just stopped, you look back and say, oh, I wish I could have been there. I wish I could have done that. And unfortunately, not everybody gets second chances. So the opportunity came, and I'm going out all out. I'm trying to give it my all.
For Bronc Country, this is Romeo Villarreal.
Schultz and her teammates are now getting set for the WAC Championships. We send it back out to Romeo on the track beat.
This weekend is the WAC Outdoor Track and Field Championships. The team has had a 2-week break between meets and has used the time to make needed last-minute adjustments.
Now it's about getting the last bits of work in, you know, putting all the hay in the barn, making sure that we're going to be physically ready, you know, to run the rounds at conference. It's not about just going there and running one race, but we have to be able to sustain high level of competition, you know, over a period of days. So just getting the last bits of work in, making sure we're sharp and ready to go.
You did the work the entire season. So the last 2 weeks are more just the little points, the running faster, running with your arms up, the hurling small, coming off faster and stuff. So toward the end, it's more just the little changes that you can make, because you can only make so many changes the last 2 weeks of the actual season.
Along with physical adjustments, athletes are preparing to make sure they are in the right mindset for the day of their competition.
I think it's more mental preparation, because you are thinking, you know, in a big competition. So yes, we think how we can do it, what do we have to feel that day. Yeah, and just keep doing what we have been doing for the whole season.
The team is confident that all the hard work they've put in this season will lead to a successful conference championship.
Oh, we're ready. We're prepared. We come out here every day. We work hard just like every other team, and we're looking to go out there and do just as well as other teams. There's nothing different. Our expectations haven't changed. We expect them to go out here and give it all, and we know if you do that, the best things will come.
For Bronc Country, I am Romeo Villarreal.
Do you like offense? Then stay tuned, because coming up on Bronc Country, we have highlights from UTPA Baseball's highest scoring series in 6 years. Broncs with their final road series of the season, visiting New Mexico State. Game 1, 3rd inning, game tied at 2, and it's Cole Longcar. Drives in Logan Landon, Broncs on top 3-2. The next batter is Corey Davis, and he gets the job done. Brings home Scott Mercer from 3rd, it's 4-2. Later in the inning, bases loaded with 1 out. Jacob Huckabee keeps it in the infield, gonna be a tough play, and everyone's safe. Longcar scores, it's 5-2 Broncs. 6th inning now, Broncs down 12-5, make it 12-7. Landon belts his 8th home run of the season. He finished 2 for 4, but the Broncs fall 17-7 in 8 innings. Game 2, Broncs down 2-0 in the 2nd when Huckabee unloads. That ball leaves the park just to the left of straightaway center, over 400 feet away. Huck's first home run of the year. Broncs lead 3-2. Now we're tied at 3 in the 3rd when Victor Garcia Jr. delivers. That's with the bases loaded to score a run. The Broncs have the lead again. Next up, Jesus Garcia with a grounder to 2nd, and it gets away. Another run scores, and the bases remain loaded. Here's Huckabee again. Ball 4. That forces in a run. Not to be outdone, Michael Harrison, ball 8. The Bronx lead 7-3. Now it's 7-5 in the fourth when Davis finds an opening. Logan Landon scores. It's 8-5. And then in the fifth, bases loaded, 2 outs for Longcar, and he doesn't miss. That ball's headed for Albuquerque. Longcar's third home run, his first grand slam. Bronx go up 12-5. The Aggies score 8 times in the seventh to beat the Bronx 13-12. Final game, Davis up in the first, and that ball is headed out. First career home run for Davis is a 3-run shot to put the Bronx on top. Next inning, Bronx down 6-4, make it 6-5. Scott Mercer with a single to score Landon. Speaking of scoring Landon, Longcar. One of his career-high 5 hits drives in a run in the fourth, Bronx within 10-7. And then Landon decides that as much as he likes scoring runs, he prefers driving them in. This 7th inning double ties the game at 11. Next inning, still tied, but Victor Garcia Jr. unties it. Brings home Longcar, 12-11 Bronx. On to the ninth, game tied at 13. Bases loaded with 2 outs, ball 4. The Bronx have the lead. Next at bat, watch the pitcher. That's a balk. Davis trots home. These two teams combine for 77 runs in 3 days. The Bronx highest scoring series in 6 years. Bronx win 15-13.
You know, it's one of the things we spoke about after the game, Joe. I'm very proud of a lot of teams would have packed the tent during the season or today. We were down 10-5 after 3 innings, and they kept battling back and to win the ball game 15-13. So I'm very proud of this group.
Want to help prepare our student athletes for excellence in life? Then join the Bronc Athletic Fund today. You can become a member of the BAF for just $50 a year. All of the proceeds go directly to student athlete scholarships, so visit BroncAthleticFund.com today to see how you can make a meaningful impact on the lives of student athletes.
We will work our minds, raise our hands, and search for the answers. We will study the stars, learn to speak each other's languages, and hear each other's songs. We will make each tomorrow brighter, more prosperous, and completely new. We cannot predict the future, but we can and will build it. We will come together. The University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. New opportunities for the 21st century.
Plenty on tap this week for the Bronx. Nicolas Platret takes part in the NCAA Regionals in Lubbock. UTPA Track and Field is at the WAC Championships at Utah Valley. And UTPA Baseball closes out the season with a home series against Utah Valley. We want to thank you for stamping your passport in Bronc Country this week. Schedule one more visit for next week. But until then,
We will work our minds, raise our hands, and search for the answers. We will study the stars, learn to speak each other's languages, and hear each other's songs. We will make each tomorrow brighter, more prosperous, and completely new. We cannot predict the future, but we can and will build it. We will come together. The University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. New opportunities for the 21st century.